Hi creative friends, this is Soraya and thank you so much for being here. So I allowed everything to dry and I am loving so much of what is going on here. So I'm just gonna bring this up closer so you can look and see the delicious colors and textures and the tea bags, the handmade paper. I mean, it's so beautiful. So one of the things I just wanna address before I dive right in here is in my last video, I said that, I'm kind of going through a creative ebb state and I want to just work on this journal over here. I'm just so obsessed with it. So the question I'm gonna ask is, well, why would I not then just work on this journal? Like, why would I not just focus on that journal 100%? And I'm just gonna answer it just for the way that I work. So one of the things that I do, and this is just how I get my inspiration, and it's called a cross-pollination of ideas, and I made a video on it. So one of the things is I like going from thing to thing to thing. And when I do that, I get ideas on how to work. So for instance, if I had just started this book and only worked on this book from start to finish, like I only focused on this one book, then this book wouldn't be the way it is today, because it was me working in this book and then going to something else, and then I cut out these figures from an old art journal of mine, and I started looking at collage in a different way, and blah 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 blah. So anyways, this book would not be the way it is right now if I hadn't been working on so many different projects, going back and forth, because that's how I get a lot of my ideas. And I will link the video I made called A Cross-Pollination of Ideas, and why I think it's really important for us to do different things and not just focus on one particular project. That's the way I work. So I can only speak for myself, but there are so many great reasons to work in this way, like to just go back and forth and take a little bit of this, take a little bit of that, and then make your own kind of new, different way of working. So anyways, let's just dive right in here. I am loving so much of what is going on, and I decided that I was gonna keep this little family over here. I just really love it, and it just makes me happy. So the thing is, if I cover something up, I cannot get it back. But if I keep it and then later on I want to cover it up, well, that's not a big deal. So I'm gonna keep this little family over here and just see where it goes. And I don't know what I want to do with the background. Now I do want to keep this beautiful yellow over here. I'm really loving it, and I even thought about switching it from, say, a moon over here to like a sun over here, so I might do that as well. And I can even have 2 suns or 3 suns, actually. That's a great thing about art journaling, and especially working in a book like this, is anything is possible. So yeah, I might have a moon and a sun, actually, and maybe I might have 2 moons. So yeah, I'm just kind of thinking out loud, all these things. So you guys, I'm just gonna explain. So generally, like just say like, before I started my YouTube channel, or just say I was working and I wasn't making a video. So I would ask myself these questions. So basically, what I'm doing right now when I'm making the video is I'm basically just explaining my thought processes. So I'm just basically talking out loud, but normally I would just ask myself that question, but in order to explain my thought process, I'm just like speaking out loud. That's all that's going on with that. Because I find that if I ask myself, that if I'm unsure about what to do, when I ask myself the question, generally as I'm working, the answer will come to me. And even if I ask myself the question and then I leave it for a day or two and then I come back, it just kind of like, it tends to resolve itself. and an answer will come to me. And you guys, like, because I was just a little bit, you know, kind of like, oh, you know, I don't know, I'm not really that interested in this and that. Like, working in a book like this, there's no way that I could work in Connie's book and not get like all just so inspired, because her stuff is so delicious and intriguing and interesting, and it's just like, you know, it's so energetic to me that there's just no way that I could kind of work in it and not get inspired. So yeah, I just thought, you know, this is perfect for me to kind of delve into this right now. Now, I kind of almost wish I hadn't put this handmade paper here, because it's kind of taking away from the family a little bit over here. So I don't know. Now, let me see here. I really like this. That's going to be the red. I'm going to keep this red part for the dress. And I'm going to keep that yellow because I think I may turn that into a sun. But now I have the issue of I don't know what to do with this and the background of this. So I think I'm going to go with blue, actually. Because there is some blue here, so this seems like a good color. Like, see, there's some blue here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to like work around the figure here, and oh, you know, this handmade paper might work after all. Like, I'm just gonna make it part of the figure here, and then so I really like the kind of playful aspect whenever I work in Connie's, this particular art journal. And actually, all the books I tend to pick, well, I don't know, I have a Van Gogh one, but a lot of the books I tend to pick, they do have like a playful element to them, like when I am working over top of them. And I just think that that's really important for me, to kind of get like a playful vibe, and that way I'm not like thinking, like overthinking too much, and I'm just kind of going with the joyful beginner's mind type of thing, type of vibe, I guess. Okay, you guys, I'm really loving this family here. I'm gonna call it a little family. Like, I'm really loving it. And I'm just gonna kind of swirl it like that. I'm really loving that. Now the background over here, to the right, I'm not particularly liking that. So I don't know, I'm trying to think here what, and I don't want to put the blue in there, because then that's going to be too much blue. Like, I want this figure to kind of stand out here. And you know what, you guys, I might go for a like a lighter blue up here maybe. So that way I'm keeping the same, you know, I'm keeping the blue, but I can differentiate between the background and the foreground. That's one of the things I keep on talking about when I work in Connie's book, you guys, is that I don't know how she does it, but she can do a spread where the background is really busy and the foreground is really busy, and I can't do that. I cannot do that. It just scrambles up my brain, and I need to differentiate. But I really do like that, like the two blues, but I can still differentiate between the background and the foreground. And once this dries, I might even put another coat of the blue. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to drag some of the drag some of the blue here. And I'm kind of liking this. And okay. Okay, you guys, I'm really kind of liking where this is going. And I think, okay, so I'm gonna kind of keep the red over there for the dress, but I think I'm also going to now bring in some, like I'm gonna bring in, I think I'm gonna go with orange, guys. So one of my first inclinations is always to like make everything kind of like, say for the dress, for instance, like when everything is too busy, I don't, you know, I'm still trying to figure out, does it scramble my brain or is it just a personal preference? I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter at the end of the day, but it just makes me happy when like I can see, oh, this is the dress and this is the background. Like, it just makes me happy. And I'm still like letting some of the background show through, so just to create some interest. And just drag some of that in there. Now, one of the things is I feel like this is too cool. You know, I mean, there's orange there and like all of this is cool. And then there's like this hot, but I don't know. I'm gonna think about this. I don't know if I want to add some orange in here. I don't know. I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm gonna think about it. That's a great tool that I've learned, you guys, is if I don't know what to do, it just really helps if I ask myself the question and then just kind of let it percolate. Okay. And I'm going to drag some of that in there and over there. Okay, you guys, I think I'm going to let this completely dry and then I'm going to come back to it. But I am really loving like a lot of what is going on here. Okay. So if you've watched all the way to the end, you guys, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.